What's up, guys? Today we'll be checking out the Redmi 9. So this is a $142 budget phone right now. I will put the links down below, and I've really enjoyed my time with this phone. It's pretty awesome for this price point. Now in the box you get actually a clear coat case, your charger, and USB Type-C cable. And this one is the ocean green one, and it looks really nice. It kind of looks a little bluish as well, and you get the phone out of the box. It's just very thin phone, but definitely not a light phone because of the size of the battery, which we will talk about. But as you can see on the back, you have actually a textured back, so it actually feels good when you're holding it. It feels pretty secure, which is something that I like. And you also have a little circle around the camera area, which is nice. So even though this is a cheaper phone, it does look really nice. You also have the fingerprint scanner on the back, which is very fast. It's a physical one, of course. Now I don't find myself smudging the camera on this one like on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now when you get to the front of the phone, you have a 6.53 inch IPS LCD display. It's a 1080p display, $395 for the PPI with a water drop notch, and you also have 83.2% screen to body ratio, so you have a little bit of bezel at the bottom. But overall for this price, I'm not complaining about the design on here. It actually looks very nice for this price point. Now again, the display for this price point is really good. I'm very impressed with the display. Just it being a 1080p display with a pretty high PPI again for this price was very impressive to me. It was pretty bright for me, not the brightest phone outdoors, but it was bright enough, so I wasn't really struggling too much with this phone. But overall colors were pretty vibrant, and I just had a really good experience with consuming content on here, since this is such a a big phone for this price range. Now you're running Android 10 with MIUI 11, the Helio G80 processor, and the Mali G52 GPU. So basically I did not have a problem with running the MIUI 11. It's a very customizable and heavy UI here, but it was very smooth for me, and all your essentials are here. So your second space, your screen recorder, your night mode, all of that stuff is here with this smartphone. So I was really impressed with that, and it just running very smoothly. So I had no issues with this Helio G80 processor. You do have 32 gigs of internal storage and 3 gigs of RAM. You also have micro SD support as well. So when I was playing Call of Duty, you can play it on medium settings. Again, if you're going to be gaming on this phone, don't expect to be maxing stuff out, but you will be able to game just fine. As you can see here, I had no issues with the FPS. And also, just to talk about some of the additional features, of course you have NFC on here, and you also have a infrared port on here as well. That NFC is market dependent, so do note that. But you also have the 3.5mm headphone jack. And just to talk about the speaker, it's a pretty decent speaker. It does not have much bass, but it is very loud and clear with vocals, so that is a really solid thing as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the camera. So you have a quad camera setup on here, a 13 megapixel wide and 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth sensor. You can only shoot in 1080p on here, and you also have an 8 megapixel selfie with 1080p video recording. I was actually pretty impressed with the photos on here. Again, for this price point, I've seen much worse, and dynamic range on here is really good. Color accuracy is pretty solid on here too, so I was just pretty surprised at the amount of detail this was able to keep compared to a lot of $200 or even $300 phones that I've tested out. This is right up there with those phones, and that's also the same for the ultra wide. It's actually very competitive with some $300 phones that I have. Now when you get up to close-up shots, you will notice that the images are a little bit soft. The color isn't always accurate with this, so it was just kind of okay photos when you get to the depth sensor and the macro camera. So wasn't super impressed with that, but overall this is a super solid camera here. The front facing camera was decent. It's a little bit soft and a little bit washed with the color, so I would like to see that fixed. But all right, so just to touch on the video, video was a little bit soft, lacking detail, and wasn't really that color accurate. So video was okay, and I was in good lighting too as well. So not super impressive video, probably the least impressive on this phone. So let's go ahead and talk about battery life. So you have a 5020 milliamp battery on here with 18-watt fast charging. Now battery life is very good on this phone. If you're somebody that does not like to charge their phone a lot, this is definitely the phone for you, and it's just super cheap. So this can definitely go 2 to 3 days depending on how you use it. So overall, I'm just really impressed with the Redmi 9. We're gonna do some comparisons with this phone, but so far this is probably one of the best phones that you can get for around 150 bucks, under 200 bucks. So I'm really impressed with this phone. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.